Hi, I'm Samora and I'm a human at JGF. Molo, ndingu Samora and ndingumntu wase JGF.
Ifikile imini enkulu. Welcome to the Humans of JGF, a JGF holiday special highlighting the brilliant minds behind our vision. And today I have a special guest. His name is Samora Menze, ID. But many of our candidate fellows refer to him as Uncle Sam. Samora.
Sawubona.
Kunjani?
Ndiyaphila njani?
Ndiyaphila enkosi.
Ndifuna nje i-correction nje encane nje. I know surname yam abantu can say it different ways, but
Yes.
ndiyithanda xa kuthiwa Menze.
Menze. Where does this Menze thing come from?
Eish, yabona laba besingisi.
Okay, cool. Okay, I understand. Gusamora Menze. Ke kuthiwe Tunani. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm really excited to be here. A bit of inevzanyana kancane, but I'm really excited.
No worries. You are home, Betuna Apa. You are home. Samora, quick question.
Sure.
Where are you from?
Wow. Okay. So Samora was born Eastern Cape, ne?
Yes.
eQonqa.
Stop!
Mkhaya.
My King Williamstown, not this podcast revealing that I have Umkaya. What? We're about to go.
Well, kwi-village kuthiwa seZeleni.
No ways.
Yeah, and however, ndikhulele eKapa, so we left when I was only, I think, a few months.
Yes.
Moved to Cape Town. Hlala ekhaya eLitsha.
Yes.
Spent most of my early teens ekhaya eLitsha. And then we moved to Westerford. Ndayoprata ke phaa Westerford.
Yes.
Yeah, so I went high school. And am I supposed to be going on with my story?
Please.
Sure. And then I went to Stellenbosch to do my studies there. I did my undergrad and my PGCE at Stellenbosch University. And I think that's where Dikule Corner, that's where I really got to know a little bit about myself and got to love Samora.
Yes. So in the organization, you are a program officer, right? Give us a glimpse of what it is that you actually do. And in this job title of being a program officer, where does the work meet your personal passion?
Thank you for that question, Matao. So, wow, I think what makes me come alive about this work is our candidate fellows, the time I spend with them, the SMSs, the WhatsApp, the calls, the Zoom calls, the Uncle Sam, can you give me advice here? So I think the mentorship aspect, I really enjoy it a lot. But I love abantu, man. I've always known ukhula kwami. I knew ukuthi my work will involve people and development. And I think development just became education. So yeah, it's always been like that actually throughout my journey. It's always been people. And abantu.
Also, Sam in the organization, he holds the calm of the team. And by that I mean he is well versed in things mindfulness, holistic wellness. Where did that passion for you come from?
Sure. Well, I mean, when we talk mindfulness, I think the language is a recent thing for me. I think I really got to learn what mindfulness is last year. However, the practice and the presence, I think that's something that's always been with me. I think in my faith as well, that has really grounded me in being present, in holding space for others, and in being kind, being kind to others, and also extending that kindness to yourself, if I'm allowed to, so quota is scripture.
Please go for gold.
It talks about, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I think if we don't love ourselves, it's very hard to extend kindness and love towards our neighbors. And so, yeah, that's sort of a principle I live by. And that's how I really got into the mindfulness practice.
That's so good to hear. Now, we are a teaching fellowship, and it would only be just that we rewind a bit, Nati, go back to our school-going days. Tell us, rather, not remind us, but tell us, what is your earliest memory of young Sam at school?
Sure. If my principal was a scholar and would be listening to this interview,
sure.
They'll be quite surprised. So at school, Sam was naughty.
Hectic. So when you say naughty, what do you mean, Sam? Give us an example of a naughty Sam.
I mean, I visited the principal's office a number of times.
Sure.
I think being Papa, I was quite forward. I was quite curious. I was not so sporty. Like now in my adult years, I'm a lot more sporty than I've ever been before.
Yeah.
But at school, I was not so sporty. I enjoyed life sciences and I enjoyed maths. I was really good at it. And I just loved hanging around the guys and being the clown sometimes in the class, which would land me in trouble.
So what kind of learner were you? In high school in particular, actually.
Okay. I think, I've been a very playful person in my early grades, but once I got to grade 10, when I started taking things seriously, I was a lot more focused. As I said, I really enjoyed maths and life sciences. Was biology at the time for me, So I was the kid that, if a band was stuck, they'll come and ask me, and they'll come and bother me to support them and assist them, And
what was your attitude towards that?
Well, I enjoyed it. I think now when I think about how I became a teacher, I'm like, okay, cool, I can put all the pieces, together. Yeah. So that assisting others, my mom didn't really appreciate that when having a group of kids coming to our house for me to tutor and help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't appreciate that.
Okay. And speaking about you connecting the dots, where you can locate where your passion for teaching began, who was your favorite teacher?
Okay. I think that one is very easy for me to answer. In my matric year, I had an English teacher, Mr. Barker.
Okay.
Amos Barker. He was a very strict teacher, and English is a very, important subject. But he just, I think he was very kind to me. Encouraged me a lot. Even when I was applying for university, he's the person that sat me down and said, perhaps you should consider this, you should do that, and when there was an opportunity to get a scholarship at Stellenbosch University, he's the one that offered that to me. Mr. Parker has been my favorite teacher.
Okay, lovely stuff. So how did you come across JGF?
Okay, funny you asked that. So I've been a teacher. I've been a teacher for over 9 years. And in 2017, I think I was at a point in my life where I was like, I feel like I want to step outside the classroom for a bit. I wanted to take a break from being in the classroom space. I felt like I wanted to do more. And I'd loved, engaging with student teachers, mentoring, supporting them when they visited our school. And in my frustration, I shared my frustration to want to do more with a former colleague who then introduced me to Jeremy.
Yes.
And Jeremy then told me about this organization and told me that there were early stages, and they were not looking for anybody at the time. But I really got excited with the work that he shared with me, and so I'd kept in touch since then. And so that's how I got to find out about Jake's Rebel Fellowship.
Okay, lovely stuff. So with us being in the organization, we all meet each other in the particular portfolios that we show up in. But now I'm interested in the various phases and faces of Samora before JGF. So you were a teacher. What were you teaching? Did you do other things apart from teaching? What has your journey been that has contributed to the Samora that we now experience today?
Wow, sure. So I I know there's quite a bit of a little bit of criticism around the PGCE program, and I took that route. Honestly, I was not planning to become a teacher. Growing up, I never thought, I'm going to be a teacher one day. I actually wanted to be a scientist, and when I was at Stellenbosch, I did a BSc. I was majoring in microbiology and physiology. And then I went to go work for a year in a lab after graduating, and I hated it.
Yeah.
But while I was a student, I'd always been involved in tutoring. So a friend of mine started an organization called Funda Fundisa,
Okay.
where we're tutoring high school learners at Kayamandi High School. And I was heading the science, department of that program, and the maths. And so that, for me, I used to be exhausted going there, but coming back, I'm so energized. I'm like, I enjoy this, And our pastor at church once said, perhaps you should consider, because I wanted to go into full-time ministry. I wanted to be a umfundis.
Guys, there's a thing about JGF and people from church. First there's Jeremy talking about being a youth what at church. Now it's you wanted to be a umfundisi, Uncle Sam.
So I'd been quite involved on campus ministry with Every Nation Church in Stellenbosch, and we we had winter schools, and I was involved with the winter schools where we took or supported matriculants in preparing them for the final exams. So again, I was getting involved with the classroom. And so after my 1 year of working in the microbiology lab and realizing, I cannot be sitting there pipetting and counting colonies and doing all that kind of stuff. I wanted to be around people. I wanted to talk and engage with people. And I thought, no, I'll do ministry. And I wasn't so keen on ministry. From what I heard from my pastor, they said, what, Samora, you'd be great maybe in the classroom. You could see the classroom as a platform where you could, you could share your story, you could share your love, you could share your influence and your impact, And I thought, actually, being utishara, in fact, umfundis, as a teacher in the classroom, but also umfundis as a teacher in the church. And so
actually, not even umama, Dr. Noqolo Grootboom says there's a difference between umfundisi and umfundisi. So when I will let go umfundisi and umfundisi wakho athi no ngela kubufundisi.
So I'd then been a teacher. I've taught at three different schools. I taught at Kayamandi High School. I was there for close to a year, and then I went and I taught up here on the Bosch. Should I name the schools?
Sure.
Okay, I taught at Westerford High School. I was there for 6 years, and then I left. And I taught at a startup school called Calling Academy, which is outside of Stellenbosch. It's a boys' school, for boys coming from low income communities, offering them high quality education. And so when I joined Jake's, I just finished off there.
Oh, all right. And how was it being in a single-gendered teaching environment? Is Westerford also a single-gendered?
No. So Westerford is co-ed.
Yes.
So
moving from a co-ed space just give us the difference between in your working experience, teaching at a co-ed versus a single-gendered school.
All right, so I guess you're gonna learn something new about me as well now, because I'm a father to boys. I've got 3 boys. The oldest one is my stepson. Then I've got 2 biological ones. So I've got 15, 5, and 2.
Interesting. Sam?
My work with young men, and having been at Stellenbosch, I lived in a male residence, Volchonhof. And so my work with men, young men in particular, it started quite early on in mentoring, supporting. I used to be what we call a cell group or connect group leader at the time, and every nation we believed in discipleship, which is like mentorship, and so I'd always been involved with men, young men. And so even at co-ed school at Westerford, I almost always gravitated towards the boys, and really in supporting the boys. I remember before I left there, we started a boys club. We called it BOB, Brothers. I can't remember, Brothers of. Or Band of Brothers, I think. We call it Band of Brothers. Where you come together, just share real stories. What is it like being a man? And I think part of that need to want to be in these spaces come from me not having had a male role model growing up. I didn't know my dad. I only met my dad when I was 20 years old. So going to a boys' school, it felt natural. In fact, my first teaching prac experience was at a boys' school at Paul Roos. So I'd always loved working with boys. I think sometimes you have to try and balance things when you're working with, in a co-ed school. You got to be really careful around your language. And sometimes with boys' schools, there's a bit of, leniency and how to approach things with the boys and how you can be real, because, we share similar experiences, especially in the kind of school I was at. These are boys coming from the township, single parent homes, which is the same for me. I just loved it. I loved being able to talk and say, okay, listen, forget that I'm your teacher. Right now I'm standing in front of you, or I'm sitting next to you as in-daughter, and let's talk. Let's address some of the challenges that you guys are facing, that I might be also facing, or that I might have faced before. So I really enjoyed that. It was hard to do that in a co-ed school, so you had to always be kind of careful around the language you use and your approach.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Sam. So now you are at JGF. Stepping into the space, what has surprised you the most about this JGF environment?
Wow. Sure. Maybe not much of a big surprise, but more of a confirmation for me, or affirming, something that I already believed about myself that has just become so real now. That, man, I love Abantu, and I love to see them flourish and to grow. And so when I work with these guys who are excited about making an impact in the education space, I feel fulfilled. I enjoy my work. Yes, I enjoy my work. So that's really something that has really become so evident in my life. I'm a lot more happier.
Yeah. And what qualities within the team stand out for you the most? What qualities within the candidate fellow community stand out for you the most?
Sure. I think the commitment, these are people who are committed to change. These are people who are committed to make the world will live in better. And education is an incredible tool for doing that, and so what I see in my colleagues and what I see in the Kenneth Fellows is the commitment. It might be hard, and it will be hard, and teaching is not always an easy part, but people are committed, and I think with that kind of commitment, we'll be able to see results and an impact.
Yeah. So, as we all know, our candidate fellows are the North Star of our organization. We do the kind of work to see them thrive and to have their visions and convictions about education better materialize in the world. What about our candidate fellows reassures you, Samora, that South African classrooms are in safe hands?
Sure. Wow. Thank you for that question, Matabo. Our candidate fellows are, they're passionate. Their passion. So as I've said, I've taught in 3 different schools, and in the one school, or in the schools where I've seen great results, was passion from the teachers and the commitment from the teachers. And what I see that in the candidate fellows, for me, the education system is in good hands. Abantu that are committed and passionate, they will do things that others are not willing to do. They will go beyond, what is required of them. They will do the extra bits. They will do the not so lekker stuff to do, and they will do the hard work which is required because of the passion and their commitment.
Thank you so much, Sam. So, after you, we have Usefas. Dr. Sefas joining us, and he has joined our team this week. So we are recording at the same week Sefas has joined the team. And from what you see and understand and have interacted with Sefas, what quality of human being is the great doctor?
Okay. From just a little experience I've had with him, I've not even had an hour with him yet, but okay, I want to give it a shot. So I got to learn yesterday that he's a family man. His family is out in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
And he will be based in Joburg because he wants to be closer to family, because traveling between Cape Town and Zimbabwe has been hard. So Joburg and Zimbabwe is a lot easier. And I've also learned that he's such a humble person, he's so welcoming, like a man of his experience and intellect as well.
Yes.
Could be quite scary to be around, but in our engagement yesterday, very, very humble, very welcoming, very open and warm person, and I think also very willing to serve. I think that's my experience of him is that his leadership style is more perhaps of leading, of serving.
Yes.
So saying, hey, what is the situation here? Let's work it together. So that's the experience I got of him. I think he's a warm individual, and very open. The humbleness for me, we're addressing him by doctor. He said, no, please don't call me doctor.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sam, for your time. Le hambo yase JGF siqale sonke ngonyaka ka 2021. And it's been a complete pleasure walking with you, Sam, as colleague. And I think a few things about you strike me the most, considering that some of us are very straight to the point. Let's do this, team, and you bring a kind of humane lightheartedness, a tender hand to the serious work that we do, and it's needed. And your strength, I have found, is in vulnerability. And now when you unpack your story about walking this journey of understanding manhood, masculinity, with yourself and with the younger generations, it makes sense why you are the way that you are. And I think it's quite the privilege in this country to work and serve with a man who has no qualms with being vulnerable, and still maintain strength and still maintain joy and still get the work done. So it's been a complete gift working with you and walking with you, and thank you so much for sharing your expertise, your wealth of knowledge, and your heart with us this here morning.
Sure.
Inkosi kakhulu.
Kubulela mna. Thank you so much, Mataba, and thank you for these kind words you've just shared now. Ndabulela.
No
Thank you.
worries, no worries. Betunanike njengesiqhelo, the conversation continues. It is Jake's Gavel Fellowship. You just go to Google and you will see everything that you need to understand about our organization. And if you want to partner with us, please, everything that you need there to do the work of partnering with us. Just go to that space. Sam, before Nyani Sivale Hima, our hashtag is be a teacher. There's someone who's listening to us today, and they have this amber in their spirit. But Sam, what advice do you have for them?
Sure. Wow. I think you gotta love the kids. So you need to love the people that you're teaching. You gotta care for them. As a teacher, I think that's very important. It will open them up to learn. You know, when they know that you care, when they know that you're gonna be there, they will listen to you and they will learn from you. And you will learn a lot from them as well. You know, so be open for that as well. So I think wanting to be a teacher, you know, as a fellowship as well, please do apply. Applications will open next year, and join our fellowship, and let's walk this journey together.
Let's walk this journey together. Betunanike, as said, Jake's Gavel Fellowship across all social media networks. Ndingu Matabo Tladi sizoyiqhuba ke le ncoko with more team members from the Jake's Gavel Fellowship. From me, I'll see you kwelandelayo.